Hello and welcome to another video. Today it's this big boy that it's coming out of the car. If you don't know what this is the alternator of the Elan. And yeah, it's a bit of an harder job than it should be. It's not as bad as some people tell you, but it will easily take you a whole day if you don't know what you're doing. For me, well, it did take me half a day, and let's face it, this should be the 2 hours job. But, needless to say, I'll show you what I've done about it, and hopefully that will give you some idea on how to proceed if you ever need to remove it from your car. And here we are underneath the vehicle with the subframe removed, and very little visibility of what's going on. Well, right now you can see everything, but you won't see anything once I get my hand there. The first thing that needs to be done is to pull that little plastic cap out, and then what will be found there is a little stud coming out with a retaining nut which holds the big power cable. And I'm gonna try to see what I can do about that with the camera filming at the same time. And there you can see the nut, the stud with the little nut. So that nut needs to be undone and then the wire be pulled out. So there's the nut. Then there is a little washer. Oh, there isn't a washer. No, I thought it was a washer, but I was actually thinking about this. But let's refocus this here. So there's the nut. I thought there was a washer, but there isn't a washer because it's kind of like part of the nut itself. So this is definitely the same nut that needs to go back in. And there's the cable. So I've already pulled the cable out. There's the cable out. So that is the big alternator feed cable. This is the one that charges the battery. So now that this one is out, there is this green one here. This green is, I think it's like a health check and other type of connections, but this one also needs to be unplugged. And there is a bit of a clip kind of thing that you need to reach, and it's a bit difficult to get to. And I've managed to get the lighting in such a way that you can see the green piece that I'm talking about. You can see the oil filter here. You can see the wire that I've just disconnected there, and the place where it was connected to here. And the green connector that needs to come out of the alternator, it's this one. And you can see here on this bit here, let's see if I can zoom in and still get a good shot. Yeah, so you can see here the green connector with its little clip. So the problem is getting your hand there to push the clip and push push on this part of the clip and then pull out the whole clip. The manual says to remove the oil filter if need be. I will try to do this without removing the oil filter because I don't want to do an oil change today. However, my plans may have changed before the end of the day. So, after 20 minutes of trying and pushing on that little clip and all of that, it turns out that the clip's not doing anything. I just need to push the whole thing out, and it just comes out, and it's just press fitted, and I have no idea why the clip is there. But that is the connections, the 3 connections there. So the next thing is to undo the two bolts that hold the alternator and do the pressure, the tension on the alternator belt. Right, so here we have the engine bay, and I'm going to try to get a shot of the bolt that holds the alternator near the top. So as you can see, lighting conditions are terrible. And access is equally difficult, but you can see the bolt here, which I'm just having difficulty with the focusing on it. Right, so I will do some post-production to show you what the bolt is, and then the bracket, as you can see, with the little crack between, and then there's a second bolt here. This is the bolt that holds the bracket, but the alternator is actually held onto the bracket on the other bolt, which, if I increase the exposure of my camera a little bit, I may be able to get it to show you like this. That looks a lot nicer. So that is a bolt that I'm going to try to remove, and I'm going to set up the camera in a way that you can see the job being done, but you won't be able to see actually the bolt itself. Right, so that is a ratchet spanner. It fits through there, and I had to undo this bolt for the power steering pump to get more leverage, and then I'm just effectively very slowly opening it up by pushing it left to right. There's probably a more efficient way to do this, but this is what's working for me at the moment. That's the belt out. The alternator is as loose as it can be. All I have to do is somehow make this bolt come out. So it's possible to remove the bracket itself, because I have two bolts over here. I can feel them with my fingers. So I'm going to try to remove these two bolts so that the alternator bracket comes out. So now the bracket is loose. I can remove the alternator bolt, separate the bracket from the alternator, which should make everything come out a little bit nicer. Here we are underneath the car again. So the alternator is now completely free, as you can see. I can move it whatever I want. And the last thing that I need to do is figure out how it will come out from underneath of the car. I get a strong feeling that the exhaust pipe will have to be undone for this, but I'm going to give it a try without removing the exhaust pipe first, and then if that doesn't work, the exhaust pipe will come out. Right. Now, with a little bit of luck, the alternator will come out from here. Right, and that's it. That's the alternator out of the car now. Woo! So that's it for this video. The alternator is out, as you already saw. It's quite a challenging task to remove specifically the top bolt on the alternator, and there's also the added fact that you have to remove the subframe to get access from underneath, so that's an extra layer of complexity. The next video, it's very likely to be refurbishing the alternator, so we'll see what comes out then. Apart from that, thanks for watching, and I hope you learned a thing or two, and I'll see you in the next video.